In this video, I'm going to show you how to consistently get more wins in classic challenges. So let's get right into it. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Mars back with another Clash Royale video. And as I said, I'm going to be showing you guys how to get more wins in classic challenges. No matter how many wins you're able to get right now, I'm going to be able to help you to get more wins. I've gotten 12 wins before in a classic challenge, and most of the time I can get at least 6 or 7 wins. So I have a lot of experience in classic challenges, and here are 5 great tips to help you get more wins in classic challenges. The first tip to get more wins in classic challenges is simply to use a real deck. This is a little bit subjective, but basically what I mean by a real deck is either a major deck in the meta, a popular deck that's already used by a lot of people, or if your deck is a little bit more off meta, make sure you cover all your bases and you're able to counter no matter what your opponent is using. For example, in this Royal Hogs deck over here that I used to get to 5 wins, I have the Royal Hogs, so a good reliable win condition. I also have the bomb tower, so no matter what my opponent's using, I can always pull it to the bomb tower and prevent damage on my tower. And I also have the flying machine, princess, and fireball, so a good variety of things that can hit air and ground and deal some splash damage. There's no worse feeling in Clash Royale than losing a game knowing that you played pretty well, but you simply had no answer to what your opponent has. For example, if your opponent ends up having a balloon and you only have one thing that can hit air cards, then as soon as you play that card in the other lane, your opponent can just go with a balloon in the opposite lane and you might lose a game just because of the deck that you're using. Alright guys, once you have your deck picked out, the second major tip is that game 1 is very important. This might even be the most important game in deciding how many wins you're going to get in the classic challenge. Supercell tends to match you against people who are similar to your ability in game 1. That means that game 1 is probably going to be a pretty close game, and you have to focus up for game 1 and really make sure you get that first win. Starting off 1-0 is simply infinitely better than starting off 0-1. And I oftentimes find that if I go 0-1 to start, I'll end up getting a little bit tilted and maybe even lose the next game too, and then you're 0-2, and your chances of getting more than like 3 or 4 wins are pretty much 0. So basically what I'm saying is when you hop into a classic challenge and you're 0-0, really focus up and do whatever you can to win the first game, because that'll get you off to just such a better start. Alright guys, so now assuming you're using a good deck and you're 1-0 to start the classic challenge, the third major tip to get more wins in classic challenges is to play properly. When I say properly, I pretty much just mean passively, and don't go like Expo Tesla at the bridge if you're running Expo. Spending 10 elixir at the bridge is very risky, and I can't tell you guys how many games I've won because my opponent just spends like 9 or 10 elixir at the bridge to start the game. I counter it with like 6 or 7 elixir and then use that elixir advantage to win the game. Pretty much no matter what deck you're using, it's always a safe play to just play passively in single elixir until you know your opponent's entire deck, so you can't be surprised by anything that they use and randomly lose a game because they have one card that you didn't expect them to have. Alright guys, my fourth tip for getting more wins in classic challenges is to have a surprise card in your deck that no one will really expect. This isn't really required. For example, if you're using like 2.6 Hog, I would probably just leave the deck the same, but I am a log bait player, and so when I hop into classic challenges, sometimes I like to put in the Tesla instead of the Inferno. Another great example of a surprise card would be the 3 Musketeers. Pretty much the last thing anyone expects to play against when they hop into a game is the 3 Musketeers, and I think it's also no coincidence that the 1-12 win classic challenge I got was with a 3 Musketeer Royal Hogs deck that also had the Royal Recruits. The Fisherman is also a great surprise card. Even though it's kind of popular in the meta right now, using the Fisherman, I think, is a very smart play if you're trying to get more wins in classic challenges. Again, this isn't really required. You can use a meta deck if you want to, and that honestly might be a bit of a safer play, but I did want to share this tip with you guys because I've only gotten 12 wins in a classic challenge one time, and it did happen to be with a deck that had the Fisherman, Royal Recruits, and 3 Musketeers. So very unexpected. Alright guys, the fifth and final tip to get more wins in classic challenges is that if you do end up losing a game, take a break for a few minutes to reset. Oftentimes when I lose a game in a classic challenge, I'll get kind of mad and tilted, and then in the next game, I'm just thinking about why I lost the last game, and it can lead me to lose another game. I know this happens to everybody, not just me, but make sure that if you lose a game, you take a minute to reset, maybe watch a TV Royale replay real quick, and make sure that you have a fresh head going into the next game, because that'll give you the best chance to win. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap it up for my 5 tips on how to get more wins in classic challenges. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click that like button and the subscribe button right now. Doing those little things takes like 1 or 2 seconds, but it benefits my channel tremendously, and I really appreciate it. Also, if you do want to show extra support for the channel, head over to patreon.com/MarsUltimateGaming. I'll be linking that below in the description. But anyways guys, thank you once again for watching, and that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. I'll see you guys in a couple days with another Clash Royale video.